Like you see the wagon wheel on the map here. The wagon wheel represented a conductor or a wagon. And if it was a wagon, they would slide the slaves underneath. And in the South, they really don't like white potatoes that much, right? So somebody would be in the wagon, call out, white potatoes for sale, white potatoes for sale. They'd go down the road, and there would be someone to come out and say, oh, can you pull in the back? And the slaves that were inside that wagon would come out, because that would be their stopping place, and then the other ones would go in. So we use different codes and different ways to make slaves know that it's time to go. You know, this is what we're doing. And their mothers, sometimes we didn't want to leave their babies because they didn't want to grow up in slavery. So because I knew a lot about herbs, like one of them is chamomile. You put a little bit on a baby's tongue, it keeps them quiet because we're out there in the woods. And you have soul catchers, what you call bounty hunters, and then you have those vicious slave dogs, and they never caught us. And again, I would give the babies something to help them sleep, so they could continue.
To the sea, company, oh, we were marching to Georgia. Oh! Front. All right, boys, what we have here looks like an abandoned camp. Ah! We captured a flag and we didn't even have to fight for it. Ah! Take what you want, boys.
Where's the tobacco?
Good for.
Sit on the dime, boys.
Leave everything with the green.
Boys, I found a letter.
Oh, I know, sweetheart. What's it say? What's it read?
It says, my dearest darling.
I don't know what they're talking about Southern hospitality. I think this is great. Oh, really? Yeah. I'm calling for a 10 touch. Pass that around.
It looks like it's well used.
More cigars.
Arriving from Washington, and after settling in at the Will's house, I took a walk at sunset to gather my thoughts for the events of tomorrow. When I think of all the sacrifices of life given and those yet to be offered before this dreadful war is over, my heart is like lead within me, and I feel at times like hiding in deep darkness. You see, I have gazed long into the eyes of grieving mothers. I've wept with widows. I've held tight the hands of dying soldiers. When will all of this end? The nation is asking me this question. I don't have an answer. But I've always desired to conduct the affairs of this administration to the best of my ability. And if at the end I have lost every other friend on earth, I shall at least have one friend left. And that friend shall be down inside me. So here we are, following a procession of over 1,000 soldiers, my security unit, the mountain fife and drum, and from way down south, the Carlton Band. We have entered Evergreen Cemetery, where we are now standing here. What words do I utter? What letters do I write? What address do I speak? 87 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We're men on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggle here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will no longer remember what we did here. But it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here, dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.